다가랑 공원도 니만지 배 가사가 단적인 진배 내 다들 나고 숨기 거라고 그게 돈기 거라고 또 세고 또 봐지 때 다만 배 다가랑 공이 제가 다가랑 공이 생기만지 꼭 가지고 이거.
So when one, do such a meditation for a certain period of time, then, acquainted with this meditation, then, at one stage, the practitioner is able to find that self, or that almost he or she can wholly, one will reach at such an experience.
그러나 공공공공공선데 단적이 쉐가 다들 강사가 다들 두가 다들 모신 사서는 제가 내가.
So once one is able to identify that object, which is held by that self-grasping attitude, then it is simple or very easy to refute it and understand it.
말하는 단적이 다들 뭐 그냥 마신 방아 공부대가 말해 쌤대가 말해서는 곧 난다요 말 찾고 싶대요.
Because usually what we do is that we do not try to recognize the object which is hold or cling by the self-grasping attitude, and we thus kind of exclude that saying, my hand is not me, and my leg is not me, and so forth. Then that does not harm to the innate grasping attitude, because it still holds very strongly there.
단적이 다들 멋있고 카다지라 하는데 안에 차다도 돼요. 컨셉 나와면 그거 많이 못 돼가지고 꼭 배우셔야 돼요.
If the grasping attitude, is able to speak, then it might laugh at us, saying, it's not harming at all to me, but it's still searching very much like that.
So
therefore, initially you shouldn't rush to search the object of that object. So it is said that even if it takes months and months or years, combine your practice with the purification and the accumulation of merit, and try to find out the object which is clinged or held by that eye-grasping attitude. We say, normally it's said that to understand or realize emptiness is very difficult, is because of this object of negation is difficult to identify. Once one is able to identify the object of negation, then it's simple. Because this meditational deity, this eye-grasping attitude, is very, very solid, very concrete. So first of all, you should identify clearly this meditational deity. So some label this attitude as a protector of self-grasping attitude. So first, even if it takes months or years, even years, and try to recognize this protector. So once one identifies correctly this protector, this eye-grasping attitude, then one can use this different logic of investigation. So once one is able to recognize this eye-grasping attitude, then to analyze it and to refute it is simple. So once one is able to identify or recognize this object of negation, and then refute it or negate it, at that point, some develop very strong sense of fear that thinking oneself being lost, and for some who have a strong imprint from the past will have very strong joy as it have found a great treasure and so.
다 다음에 봐도 제가 지금 하고는 제가 제가 동산 메가지니 동산이 양 들어 제가 지금 동산 메가지니 먼저 한번 유령 보다나 양 단열이 봐 마셔요. 양 이거 신다던 사대.
So this selflessness or the state where you refute the object of negation, then you have to employ a lot of investigation. Otherwise, after a while, there's again, this danger of appearing the conventional self or the conventional I, which becomes interference for your meditation on emptiness.
다음에 그런 시대 세월이 오지면은 대한 동반이 담임 고민 잡고 왔잖아. 군조 때문에 많이 봤다. 남들 때문에 많이 봤지만 그래서 다니는 거예요.
So, if you do not have a strong sense of experience of the, the lack of inherent existence of that self, then there's a danger of, your meditation not becoming either ultimate truth or conventional truth. So you just, somewhere in the middle, there's a danger of wasting our life.
당고 동반이 비자니 봐 옛날에 그 공도 통주신도 딱 양날이야 마베가 만들 진지는 진수 양날이야 양 잡아체 양의 시타 양이 잡아체 제가도 조금 뭐 민도 되게 쓰는 거 고마워 말아지가 그 공인데 제가 맞잖아 동반이 야고 저 그래요.
So once you found that selflessness or that emptiness, then you shouldn't just concentrate on it. Just concentrate short while and then again investigate, and concentrate short while again investigate like that. While when one is carrying on the meditation on emptiness, we have to combine the meditation on concentration and the analytical meditation together with combination. Otherwise, you can always lose the object.
그러나 돈이라는 것이 내 호가타 와서 도요 말아. 이걸 한동안 찍고 와.
Because the combining of the mind or the concentration which is developed on focusing upon emptiness is unable to cut the root of cycle of existence. You have to focus, or you have to gain the understanding of the special insight in order to cut the root of cycle of existence.
어제가 나 동반이 그게 미세디 야고지 배 transidan 되게 통도 중요해요. 뭐 저기 요령 못 겁나? 그냥 간단하게 타니 대대야 현다지 타니들이 막 이래 그러 누구 현다지 깨워나 돈이는 더 주바다 많이인가? 그래서 영어를 내가들이요.
So if you were unable to ascertain the understanding of emptiness that very well, and then later there's always the danger of appearing the conventional existence self, and then it does not become the actual meditation upon emptiness. It becomes like a non-affirming negation. It does not become the actual. That one is unable to negate the actual object of negation at that time.
다 동행이라는 것이 동행이라는 것이 그는 나가다 때자가라 봐. 나가다 봐. 동산 나가다.
Because this this ascertaining the understanding of emptiness is related with the space. Usually.
그 나가다 분연다고요, 알았어.
No, because that ascertaining the emptiness and the space is similar.
나가래 토바를 막 깝담들라 내가
space is defined as the mere negation of the obstructive form.
And
then emptiness is also mere negation of the inherent existence, or mere refutation of the inherent existence. That is the emptiness. Just thinking empty does not imply with meditation of emptiness.
Usually we
know that we just think about thinking about nothing, does not become a meditation of emptiness, isn't it?
So
you know that we have to concentrate upon the object which is induced by the investigation and analysis. That object which you seem to be appearing and inherently existent, and if you don't investigate again and again, then there's danger of always missing the object of investigation. So once you are able to find and able to analyze again and again, if one does not have achieved the counterbiting of the mind or the concentration, then it is difficult to continue or carry it on.
For
example, as you know, that without having achieved the state of counterbiting or the concentration, you do not engage into you do not achieve the Mahayana path of accumulation. So, without realizing the emptiness, you cannot surpass from the middle Mahayana path of accumulation. But there are bodhisattvas who abide in the small Mahayana path of accumulation with the view of Chidamatri. Because when the practitioner achieves the middle Mahayana path of accumulation, then at that point he or she will gain the concentration known as the extreme Dharma concentration. Then from there, the practitioner is able to unify the concentration with the understanding of a special insight. And then from there, the practitioner also achieves what is known as the miraculous lake. Therefore, we learn here that in order to generate the altruistic attitude or the counterbiting or the shamatha is indispensable, and also in order to gain the realization of emptiness, the special the concentration is indispensable. So for to have the right understanding of emptiness, then we have to combine the meditation, the analytical meditation, and the concentrated meditation. So this meditation is unlike the other meditations. So therefore, in order to have the, in order to identify the object of negation, then we have to carry on a strong practice of purification and the accumulation of merit, and we have to make a very strong prayer to be able to identify the object of negation. Therefore, Shantideva also said that, without recognizing the self which is clinged by the self-grasping attitude, how can we possibly be able to realize, the selflessness?
제가 가져다가 그런 것들이 시원한 저를 다자나 그 배하고를 고마라 튼다는 고마하고를
So, about the object of negation, as explained before, in order to punish the thief, you have to recognize the thief, and also in order to shoot the arrow, you have to, identify, or you have to have the idea of where the target is.
나도 그 망쳐 그 작전당 도전당 고민생의 망쳐 뜸다가 따와라 야 네.
So usually most of the practitioners who engage into the Mahamudra practice and the Dzogchen practice, they are very much into the theory of the Chittamatra. And if you do not identify, if one is unable to identify the object of negation, that stands up falling into that theory. Because there are some schools or some theories that exert this conventional level of mind, which is not in the physical form, is exerted as the emptiness. Because they're very much mistake with the realization when they develop a concentration or the counterbiting of the mind, with depending upon the clarity of the mind or the clarity of mind taking as an object, then they develop concentration, and then when they develop the fully matured sense of concentration, then they also gain sense of physical and mental joys. So that joy is very much mistake. They make mistake with the great bliss that occurred through from practicing the Mahamudra. So if such a realization or if such understanding becomes an emptiness, then when you realize the empty space also become emptiness. Then later, since the sound is also not in the physical form, so when you realize sound, it also becomes emptiness. So then within this school, then the South-Antica Madhyamika school is a little higher than that of the Chittamatrin school. But it's still, they observe that if the objects are searched, something can be found. That is, if something cannot be found on the basis of analysis on the object, then they say it does not. Then the exert is non-existent. That's why I know the lower schools are unable to, when they posit exert the dependent relativity, then they are unable to exert the emptiness. When they exert emptiness, they are unable to exert the dependent arising. So, by meditating upon emptiness, then later, if one is investigating or meditating upon the dependent arising, it assists or becomes an aid to understand the emptiness. And when one is meditating upon emptiness, it becomes or helps to realize the dependent arising, then it's okay. So one one's understanding of emptiness is increasing, that makes also a strong understanding of the law of cause and effect, and then the cause and results.
나 근데는 미시베 때때때 수치를 창고 동만이라 수치를 창고.
And then once one is contemplating on the law of karma, the cause and effect, then one's understanding of emptiness also improves or enhances.
다 근데 좀 미고 때서 그냥 그런 식으로 간제 집에 나는 쉬고요. 그래서 내가 자와 집에 나는 좀
So if one develops this kind of realization, then that means one is engaging, or that means one is enter into the path which pleases the Buddhas.
나 그말 안 집에 마 잡았지 가서 가는데 나와디 내가 동배 가서 봐. 그래 동배 가서
So, school below or the Prasangika Madhyamika, they assert that, emptiness, emptiness illuminates the extreme of eternalism, and then appearance illuminates the extreme of nihilism.
So,
accordance with the Prasangika Madhyamika system, then they are far higher because they are able to exert this, the appearance of emptiness, able to illuminate the extreme of nihilism, and then therefore all the functions are possible, such as the law of cause and effect and so on, are possible. So therefore, they say, just by merely appearing the object, they are able to eliminate the eternalism, because the mere appearances lack inherent existence. So the mere appearances of dependent relativity eliminates the existence of nihilism, the nihilism, and then it is because of emptiness, then all the conventional functions are possible. So just by appearing the object, it shows the dependence between the object and the subject. So it negates or it refutes the inherent existence. So this is the uncommon or unique characteristic of the Prasangika Madhyamika view school. So if one is able to understand this point, then one has already got the idea of mind of renunciation and the altruistic attitude. So one will have the understanding of the three principal aspects of the path. So if one has again the realization of the three principal aspects of the path, then one can engage into the tantric highest yoga tantric practices. One become a great yogic practitioner. It is time for the practitioner to apply this circulated places.
and but then the top gym.
Because Lama Tsongkhapa told his heart disciple Tsongkhapa Thapa, saying that after having gained the realization of the three principal aspects of the path, you should apply this secular place and try to develop a generous effort and engage into the intensive practice to achieve the ultimate aims or the ultimate goals.
What is it?
So since we are continuing same subject in the following session, so it makes maybe more simpler and clear. So actually the emptiness explained according with the three principal aspects of the path is a little hard to understand. Because before engaging into these studies, you got to have rough ideas of these three law schools, three law tenets. So if you know the rough idea of how each school asserts their position, then it makes it much easier to understand the higher schools. Because if we right away explain the Prasangika Madhyamika view, for some maybe it's easier to understand, but for some, since they haven't heard such a concept, maybe hard to understand. So even in the cases of the bodhicitta or the altruistic attitude, first you generate or develop the creative sense of bodhicitta, then followed by that or induced by that, then you gain the spontaneous understanding or the direct experience of that. So once one is able to gain the direct experience of the altruistic attitude, that marks the practitioner have to gain or enter into the Mahayana path of accumulation. Because nowadays, tradition is very much followed by the Lama Silingba's tradition. They initially explains the altruistic attitude or the bodhicitta, then followed by they explain the teachings on the emptiness. But then in the different sutras of the Shakyamuni Buddha, it explains that some practitioners gain the realization of emptiness first and are followed by they gain the realization of the altruistic attitude. Those very clever or very sharp bodhisattvas, they train in the practice, the method to develop altruistic attitude from recognizing all sentient beings as one's mother and up to the extraordinary or the unusual attitude. And from there, they go into the understanding of emptiness, or they try to gain the direct realization of emptiness. Those sharpest bodhisattvas make a very firm decisions, or very firm, carry on very firm practice. Because once you gain an understanding or the realization of unusual attitude, then you have the tendency to work for entire sentient beings. So then, then the bodhisattvas, in order to work for the sentient beings, then they try to, concentrate on emptiness, which is the substantial cause of the Dharmakaya. So they're analyzing or investigating whether such an attainment is possible or not.
다들 제원도 하나 다 저는 고쳐도야니 다 하고 왔어요. 이 이식을 도와줘야 돼. 다 도만이 도는 랑이 쉐바들 이모다 줘야 죽은이는도 제가 연다 이식을 도와봐야지. 이거 하고. 그 손이 사용도 다 점적던 거 산재 점적던 제트번도 다 줘야 돼. 항상 좋습니다.
So when the bodhisattva reaches to the level of the realization of unusual attitude, they will learn that they can accumulate the accumulations of merit. So then they are trying whether there's a possibility of the accumulation of wisdom or not. So on the basis of analyzing or investigating on emptiness, then they get the confidence that it is possible to accumulate the wisdom, and then the attainment of enlightenment is possible. So that they develop full confidence about the entire goal. But then, accordance with the Lamrim tradition, they do not explain emptiness at the point of the middle capable being's path. They leave behind and explain later when, after completing the 5 other perfections, and then it is explained at last. So when it is explained from the point of view of the sutra path, then first they explain from the 6 bhumis. They explain on the emptiness first. So actually, the practice of generosity is done or explained at the first bhumi, the first level, first bodhisattva ground. And then the concentration or the samadhi is explained is the practice of the 5th bhumi. But here they are talking about the extraordinary samadhi or the calm abiding of the mind. But that such a practitioner has got the realization of the samadhi or the calm abiding of the mind from when they initially enter into the Mahayana path of accumulation. So, it is, very important just to even have a simple understanding of the, 3 principal aspects of the path, rather than, having to go through a breathing meditation or meditation on the fire or meditation on the different objects. That would be just a waste of one's energy and life. Because it is said that the 3 principal aspects of the path are So if one develops such a feeling that, oh, this is the very, complicated point, rather I just concentrate on breathing and so on. If you start thinking that, then it's a great mistake. Therefore, even if it is just mere study or just developing mere understanding of the 3 points, is is adequate. It's something that you must do. Even so-called these famous 4 classes of Tantra. If you don't have the basis of these 3 principles as per the path, that does not help at all. If you have the quality of 3 principles as per the path, then that becomes a great fun, to start any kind of business. For example, if rich men have a great fund, then they can start any sort of business. It's in their hands. But if you don't have the realization of the 3 principles as per the path, even if you are able to fly in space or able to emanate light, it doesn't astonish us. So we'll stop here today.
Thank you very much.